Hello, welcome back, everybody that's tuned to the channel. Here we are, American Ultra Stock, new edition. Today I'm joined by Brennan, Shrey, Akil, Arjun, and Dylan making his first appearance here with us. We're going to discuss the USMNT players abroad, how their seasons went in Europe. Should we start straight to the case of the best league in the world, Premier League? We got the Leeds boys, as well as some players in the championship as well, with Ethan getting promoted. Guys, how would you review the Leeds boys season? And moving on, we can go to Fulham, but straight off the bat, McKinney, Brendan, and Tyler Adams. How would you guys see it as a season as a whole? We can give them a rating based on their individual season as well as the club. We know what happened, but straight to the case, what do you guys think?
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's pretty cut and clear on the top two players from the Premier League season, which is Adams and Ream. And I think Robinson is pretty much third. And after that, you can kind of mix and match and choose. But I think those are clearly the top three in the Premier League. And then you can choose between Adams and Ream on who is your best one. But for me, I think Adams was definitely the best player in the Premier League in terms of an American standpoint, just because of how much he provided to that Leeds team. And you can see how much they missed him when he went out with injury. I know Ream went out with injury too, and they missed him. But it seems like Leeds was affected more when Adams went down with injury.
Out of 10, what would you grade Adams' season then?
I think I would give Adams around like an 8.5 or a 9. I mean, obviously they got relegated, so but I mean he was you can arguably say their best player, and he was one of the better defensive midfielders in the Premier League this season. So I'd give him that kind of rating. Same thing around Ream, maybe like a 8.5-ish too, or an 8. I would just say he really took a step up this year, and you can just see in the World Cup too how much he contributed to the national team and in Fulham as well before he got injured.
I give him a 7 just based off the injury. He had a good season overall.
Yeah, I would agree with that because at the end of the day, obviously he was one of their best players and he was crucial in their early success, if you want to call it. But his injury was ultimately the reason that they got relegated. Yeah, I would say. So I mean, obviously it's not necessarily up to him. Some of it's luck, but you could argue that that's somewhat down to him. So I agree with a 7.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, 7.5 for me. Same reason as all of you guys. So, yeah.
I'll come in 8.
Yeah. But yeah, my rating was pretty high though. But like I didn't really consider his injury like into the rating. But I'm saying if he wasn't injured, I think he would have been up there for sure.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think individually it's a fair to give him that rating. Individually, he did have a good season. What about Wes and Brandon? What do you guys think?
Horrible. I say that. Brendan, he had a good start to the season until the World Cup. After that, everything dropped off.
Yeah.
He was getting completely bodied off the ball. He made in the West Ham game, he made a mistake leading to the goal. And after that, he's just not been creating enough for Leeds at all. Yeah, and for that 30 mil they paid for them, it's just not worth it. It was a horrible transfer.
Yeah, this was like my nickname for Aronson and Bamford. Like I saw them both play. They look pretty similar, like some skinny white guys who get pushed off the ball easily. So I call them like the string cheese strikers. Like I feel like that name fits really well. And like you watch Aronson play, like he has no muscle, like he's got no strength on the ball. Like it was one game against Liverpool, Van Dijk went like this, like just like a quick easy shove. He went flying. I don't know if any of y'all remember that, but
yeah,
it was fun. Yeah. It was like fun. I mean, like he's decent technically. He's got really good technical ability, but he's like his physicality is terrible. Like he runs, he's got stamina, but other than that, he's terrible. McKennie's like the opposite. He's just like overweight, bro. Like McKennie needs to hit some fitness or something, bro. Like he needs a dietitian. Like I mean. Like 2 years ago in Juventus, he was like shredded. His face was all lean and cut, and now you see him. Like his face looks like a ball, bro. Like I don't know, like he walls around. No, I mean like I like McKennie, but like dude, at one point like look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, like, I'm fat, bro. Like you like walk around the pitch, you don't even run anymore, bro. I love you, but come on, bro.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that I really wanted Brennan to do well because I'm a huge fan of his. I thought, especially with the beginning of the season, that maybe I knew it wasn't going to be on a high, but I didn't know that it was going to drop so much. Like his level, I think technically dropped a little bit too. That's partly to blame on the team because they had a terrible season overall, and it's hard to get any numbers when you have Benford as your striker. So can't really fault him for not getting many assists, but I think creativity wise, I was expecting more. And I wanted to ask Brendan, what do you think about Aronson as a Philly fan? What were your expectations, and how do you see the season for him?
Yeah, I would agree mostly with what Akil said. Obviously, it was a very disappointing season for Aronson, McKennie, and Leeds as a whole. Basically, besides Adams, most of them were pretty bad. But one thing that I will say, and I think this can go for Aronson and McKennie, is I think they did have a little bit of bad luck because of the manager changing. Like obviously, Aronson was brought in specifically to fit Marsh's system because he played for him at Salzburg, and he's been playing the Red Bull way for a couple of years now. And we saw how good he was doing that at Salzburg in the Champions League. And once they brought in Gracia, who was completely defensive minded, there was no creativity at all. It just kind of limited him a little bit. And obviously, with someone like Bamford being relied on to score goals when he can't do that, it's a bit of an issue. And for McKennie, I think he was brought in primarily to partner with Adams because they have the relationship, obviously, from the national team. And then as soon as that happened, Adams got hurt and then was out for the season. So McKennie was stuck playing out of position in a double pivot, which he's not used to doing, with Mark Roca, who he's never played with before.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it really was. Go ahead, Arjun.
It gets to a point where like you have to realize like these guys are professionals, and like as Americans, we have to be like, you know, like so what, you know, it doesn't go your way, you know, so what, you get shafted by some bad luck or like you're playing out position. Like you need to learn how to adapt to that. Like you need to be a professional and adapt to that as best as you can. McKennie, half the times out there, he looked like he just didn't want to run. He just like looks like he gave up. And like I'm being overly critical right now because I know McKennie's probably our most talented midfielder. Actually, I would say by far our most talented midfielder is McKennie. And I watched him in Leeds almost every game, and he just like it was disgraceful. Like I didn't know what happened to him. And Aronson, he tried really hard, but again, like Braden said some good points. You know, like it just wasn't like the system wasn't there. You know, the team wasn't there for him. But I feel like he still done a bit more than what he did, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, in terms of Aronson, like I didn't expect him to score like 10 goals and get 10 assists. Like I didn't expect like his goal against Chelsea to be his only goal of the season. Like,
yeah, same here.
To be fair, he did score in the first game.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the Fulham boys, they had a good season. I think Dylan already mentioned that Ream. He really was, in my eyes, one of the top performers, arguably the best American, just because he has the longevity, didn't have the injury that Adams had mid-season. But I'm going to say something. Maybe it's a hot take. I thought that Jedi had the best season out of the Americans in the Prem. I really like Jedi's season. I thought it was very consistent, and his touch. People always say that his first touch is something that holds him back. But I thought that after the World Cup, it really improved. Honestly, I think that his defensive duties improved as well. What do you guys think about their season, as well as Richards? We can put Richards here as just one player in Crystal Palace. How do you guys see those guys, Fulham boys and Richards?
I don't think your take is actually that hot, to be honest with you, because he had a longer season than Ream and Adams, to be fair. So, but I think if, Adams and Ream didn't get injured, I think they would definitely be above him. But you can make the case for Robinson. But I did think he performed pretty well. I mean, that's why Man City want to sign him as, a left back. I think that would actually be a pretty decent move just because of the whole thing with João Cancelo happening. And you don't know where he's going to be next year. So I think if he goes to Man City, I think he'll be fine. If you asked me that before the season began, I would have said no, just because of Cancelo. But I thought he had a pretty good season as well. I know Richards didn't play a lot either because of injury, but I thought when he was on the pitch, he was pretty good. And I definitely think he's one of our most talented center backs, at least for the future. So I'm excited to see how he does next season when he can actually, is fully healthy and he's playing.
Yeah, I think that will
I
depend
think for
on
Richards,
Gay and Anderson, one of those two. Go ahead.
I was actually going to say the exact same thing. I think his situation at Crystal Palace isn't necessarily the greatest because Mark Guehi and Joachim Anderson are both two very good center backs for the level that Crystal Palace play at. So it's going to be hard to beat out one of them.
Anderson's form dropped off a lot during the winter when Richards was taking form. I think he won Player of the Month for Palace, and then after that he was just benched by Vieira.
Also, I think Richards.
Yeah, he kept having those little injuries though.
Yeah, he's more talented. He's a better ball playing center back
for sure.
Yeah, the one game that he had against Manchester United, he looked really good on the ball. Not only on the ball, but running as well, trekking back, taking his interceptions. He was really good, but they kept on saying that he had those little injuries as well. It wasn't just a tactical point or a manager's decision to bench him, but he had little injuries that held him back. And that's ultimately the thing that makes me not trust Richards 100%. I think he's probably has the highest ceiling out of any of our center backs, but he keeps not being able to show consistency because of his body. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys want to say anything else about them.
So I'll make it quick. Richards, like you said, most talented center back, highest potential in our pool. Left-footed center back, we need one of those in our team. Okay, Robinson, I would say Ream did a better job than him this season than Robinson, just because Robinson in the first half was kind of iffy, and then second half he really tightened up his passing and first touch and defensive duties. But first half of the season he was kind of iffy. Ream, all throughout the season he was class. I would say Ream was the best player of all three. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say for Robinson specifically, I know Dylan mentioned Man City transfer. Personally, I think that's a little unrealistic and ambitious, but one place that I would love to see him go is Newcastle because they've been playing Dan Burn out of position at left back for most of the season. Obviously, he's done well there, but I think a more traditional left back could really benefit them, and obviously they're going to be in the Champions League next season. So I think that'd be a great opportunity for Jedi.
Yeah, I love the prospect of that move as well. I think he could really solidify himself as a top left back and grow within that project that Newcastle have. Should we move on to the championship, guys? We got a lot of them. We got Trusty, Sargent, Horvath, Stefan, Gooch, DK, Holmes, and Koval. What do you guys think? As a whole, I think we can start by talking about Ethan getting promoted to the Premier League, even though it seems like he's not going to stay at Luton. I see that they're linked to Begovic, and they're trying to get another goalkeeper, so I'm a little sad about that. But what do you guys think?
Wasn't Begovic the one that scored from his own goal line?
Yeah, it was him. Yeah.
That apparently they're in advanced talks with him. So you can never believe any news that you see these days, but they are actively trying to get a goalkeeper for the Prem. So maybe Horvath doesn't end up playing with Luton, but as a whole, how would you guys evaluate his season? I mean, pretty good because Luton, what were the odds of them getting up? I don't even know before the season. I thought they had no chance. And
yeah, I would say Horvath, I would give him like a 7 out of 10. I mean, he had a decent season. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't anything to write home about, but he did get promoted. And, I mean, in that team, I don't think he was one of the standout players. I think he was more of a role player, which is surprising how they got promoted with a goalkeeper as not really your standout player. But that just shows, I think, their defense. Luton's defense was really good this season. I think Horvath made some good saves, but he also led in some goals that are kind of iffy. I mean, he had overall okay season.
What would you guys rate Trusty's season?
8.
9 out of 10.
Then a 7.5.
I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I give him an 8 too. I thought he was pretty good. Well, I want to see what he does next year.
What about you, Akil?
Yeah, an 8 out of 10. I haven't watched him that much,
That's
but
right.
From what I've heard from Birmingham City fans, he's been. I think he won Young Player of the Season or something.
Yeah, I
Young
met
Player of the
Birmingham.
Season.
I met a Birmingham fan in Italy, and he said he was one of his favorite players. So, and he was from Birmingham too. So,
Yeah.
That's cool.
What do you guys think about Zach's season at Middlesbrough? I'll be honest, I'll give him a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every time I watch them, he
Five.
let in horrible goals. I
Give him
thought,
a 5
he
also.
was terrible.
I
Five.
didn't really watch him, to be honest.
Awful,
Very inconsistent.
awful season, bro.
Very inconsistent.
I think that if Middlesbrough had a better keeper, they really had a bigger chance of going to the Premier League. I thought his season was awful. What do you guys think about Gooch? We can go a little bit longer on this one because he plays in a position where we clearly don't have an immediate backup plan. Is Jedi or Jedi? I mean, we've tried a lot of players there. I don't know if you guys, I'll be honest, I didn't watch much of Gooch. What do you guys think about his season? And could he maybe make a case for himself to be on the roster in the future?
I'd give Gooch a 7. He's a good role player in a system that works for him. He's a really good, solid player, and like he's a veteran, so he's got a good experience. That's what I would give Gooch.
Yep, I've heard some good things from Sunderland fans. Yep, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I watched a decent amount of him this season, and I was really impressed. It didn't start out the season too well, and he did end up losing his spot, but towards the second half of the season, he worked hard to win it back, and so much so that by the end of the year, he was their captain, which I think speaks a lot on his character as well as obviously his talent. And I think he's an interesting prospect because by trade, he's kind of a wingback, which is something we don't really play with the national team, which I think is probably one reason why he hasn't gotten a call-up yet. But I do think he would be an intriguing option as a backup fullback, considering that towards the end of the season, he was filling in at right back or left back if Sunderland needed it, and he was doing a pretty good job at it.
Yep, it's a shame he didn't make the Gold Cup roster for this cycle, at least.
Yeah.
Who do we take?
I would have liked to see him in the Gold Cup as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right, so moving on to the two strikers that we have, Sargent and DK. DK got injured again. I think I can give him a 7 for the amount of time that he played, but really underwhelming to again not have a consistent season. What do you guys think about Sargent 1 through 10? What would you grade his season?
7.5.
First half of the season, 9 out of 10. Second half, 5.
So, I mean, so it averages out to 7.5.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd go.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean,
right,
first half of the
just-
season, he was leading Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised at
Well,
first.
Pookie's not going to be there next year. Maybe he gets more playing time.
Yeah, I think Sargent can score like 20 goals in the championship.
I hope he gets a
if
move,
they play him
actually.
up top.
No, I think one season with him as their main striker, I think could like benefit him.
For sure.
True.
Yeah, I think that without Pookie, he's probably going to get more playing time. Just one quick question. You can just be a yes or no. Do you guys think that now that we have Balogun and Pepe is getting called up again, do you think that in an ideal world, Sargent still has a spot in the main roster?
If he performs, yeah, he could be our third striker because he's better than Jesus.
Yeah, he's
He's
Yeah,
better
I'm
than
with you there.
PFOS.
Yeah, Jesus, bro.
I think he
better
offers
than
more
Peacock.
too.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, moving on to the La Liga players. Musa de la Torre Coliocho. Coliocho, we don't know if he's going to be a USA player. And Gomez, what do you guys think? I'm going to start off with Musa. I don't give him a good rating. I love Musa. I think he has one of our highest ceilings, but I'll give him a 4 out of 10. Really poor season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
I feel
honestly
bad
go
for him,
lower.
though.
The World Cup
I just feel
rating,
bad
I'd
for
give him
him
a
because
7.
Yeah, the club situation too is not the ideal one. Especially,
Yeah.
I thought this season I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be way better for Valencia, and then, you know the story how it went with them and the owners and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a disaster of a season for the club as a whole. So I mean, yeah, I thought maybe if they had like a season like last year, Musa probably would have gotten like a 7 or 6. I mean, or higher up there. But I mean, yeah, this season's probably just one to throw away, and hopefully he can get out of there because that club's a nightmare.
Yeah, I would honestly give him a 3. I think the last game of the season for him really summed up his performance throughout the year. He comes on as a sub late in the game and then gets sent off 3 minutes later.
Yeah, bro. He's
Yeah.
It's so bad though because he's such a good player, high potential player. I mean, he really should be doing better. It's a bit of a disappointment, honestly. I don't know. It's probably a mental thing. I don't know what's happening with him.
Yeah, during December or something, I heard Romano say Musa was heavily linked to Inter Milan.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you guys think he leaves?
Yeah, I hope he leaves.
He needs to.
I hope he does.
It's a
Yeah.
horrible situation for Valencia.
I think he
Yeah.
has, honestly.
How much do you think he's worth? Like 20 mil?
20 mil, 20 to 30.
Right now, I'll say 15 mil.
I think
No.
he
If
he'd get
Bellingham is
undervalued in the
100 mil,
market.
if Bellingham is 100 mil, Musa is at least
If he
20.
goes to a Prem club, it's going to be around 20.
The thing is, Bellingham isn't 100 mil. Like, that's English tax. Like, I
I
would give
know.
Bellingham 50 mil max.
But Musa's
Nah,
at
that's
least
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Musa's at least worth less than 60% of that.
I would say around 20.
I would give Musa 15. Like, this, like
Yeah.
the way like ratings are very like your value is really reactionary. Like, if you're performing bad for 6 months, it'll tank. Like, Pulisic is now like what 25, 30 million, and like
Yeah.
a year ago he was at 60 million, and like he's the same player, but like if you perform shit for a while, your value drops, no matter how much potential you have.
Going
Yeah,
to
but still, I'd still give a Musa a similar value to Pulisic, but Pulisic just by like 5 to 10 mil.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Moving on to Luca Del Torre, what do you guys think? I think he had a really promising season, but as a left midfielder, not like most of our fan base thinks as a holding midfielder or as a Nate. He played more as a left mid, not really a winger, but just covering that side of the pitch as a midfielder. And he had some good moments. Towards the end of the season, his form dipped a little bit alongside the entire team. But what would you guys rate his season and his call up? I think it's really well deserved that he got into the Nations League roster.
Yeah. I'd give him a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'll give him a
I agree.
7. Just because he came from like the Eredivisie and now starting for a La Liga team. I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him a 7 too.
Because he didn't play that much during the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd give him a 6 as well.
Going on to the
Yeah,
Bundesliga guys. You got Paxton, Reyna, P. Fox, Scally, Paredes, Brooks, Clark. I mean, Caden Clark didn't really get any playing time. And Justin J. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Let's start off with Paxton. Really promising.
Paxton-
Nice how he fit in and actually got to play. What do you guys think?
Paxton, I'm about to give him a 6.5, okay? So honestly, maybe a 7 because Paxton, like he came into this team and like the fans already love him. Like that's a good indicator of like you're doing good if the fans love you. Like the fans on like the comment sections of the IG are like start Paxton over Kamada. Kamada is like not really like at this level. He's kind of older now. Like give Paxton a chance. So I'll give Paxton a 6.5 for that.
Kamada was their second best player.
I know. No, this season, season he fell off though. I mean, last season he was definitely their best player though. I would say this season, end of season, this season kind of fell off. So I mean, yeah,
he's leaving also.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, he's going to AC.
probably
Yeah.
And I'll do Reyna too. Reyna, I'm gonna give him a 7.5.
Same. He's been great every time he's seen the pitch.
Exactly.
But for some reason, Terzic doesn't start him, even though he knows what he can bring. I don't know if it's because of the World Cup, what happened between him and Greg, because he definitely deserved more playing time.
Yeah, I think Reyna definitely should start next year, and if he doesn't, I think that's a massive problem. I'll give him an 8 for the year.
If he doesn't get enough minutes, for the first half of the season, I'd look to sell him in the winter window.
Facts. Me too.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he was definitely like one of the better American players abroad when he was on the pitch, when he was playing. But yeah, he just needs to get more minutes, and hopefully he does next year. I think he will, but we'll see. It'll be very weird if he doesn't.
Yeah, I'll be surprised because he actually like he proved his worth. Like 2 assists in the last game of the season. Like, come on, you have to start him.
That's the reason they lost the Bundesliga.
Back to Reyna and Paxton. So for Reyna, I would give him a 5, and that's not down to his performance while he's on the pitch, but more so that he couldn't manage to get playing time. And obviously, you could blame the manager, but I think we definitely saw that he could be a little immature at times. That whole situation with Berhalter during the winter, and at the end of the day, I think he probably isn't showing the work ethic in practice that Terzic wants to get minutes. And then for Paxton Aronson, I think he was a really pleasant surprise because as a Philly fan, he wasn't really playing much for us, so I wasn't sure how many minutes he was going to get for Frankfurt after that transfer, but I think he surprised a lot of people by immediately becoming a pretty big piece of their squad, coming on as a sub in a lot of their games and really impacting the match. So I'd give him like an 8 out of 10, considering the expectations.
I was mad when they didn't release him for the U20 World Cup, but the only good thing about that was that we saw that Frankfurt, they saw that they could use Paxton.
Yeah, it's a good sign because they trust him, even though they didn't play him in the final. Maybe if it was a different type of game, they would have put him out there. So it shows that depending on what the coach needs, he does trust him enough. So I think it's a good sign. I'll give him an 8.
And I think it'll be interesting to see how he does next season with a new coach.
Facts.
Yeah, no Kamada as well. I don't know if he starts, but he should. I think it's a realistic goal for him to try to be scratching that starting lineup by the end of next season.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about Paredes, another youngster abroad in Bundesliga? Had some good moments this year. What do you guys think? I think his club doesn't make it easy for him to realistically try to be a starter, but he was really a big impact sub. What do you guys think, and what would you grade his season?
I give him a 7 out of 10. Cause the only reason he doesn't start is that they have Kaminski, who's their starter. He's Polish, young. He's been playing pretty well, and Paredes just started. He just started getting into that team, and give him a few years, he'd be a proven Bundesliga player.
Yeah. Hey, can I just hey Shrey, like I want to let you talk for because I haven't really heard you talking in a bit, so I want to let you talk about this.
All right, yeah, I think Paredes will get lots of game time too. So I don't think I'll start because of Kaminski, but I think he'll get tons of game time, and I'll probably give him a 7 for the season. I think whenever I watched him, thought he brought some bright moments, and yeah, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. Pretty good season, and promising season.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would say definitely 7. I think in the next maybe like 2 years, I think in 2 years he'll be big. He'll have a big role, I think. Obviously, just with Kaminski blocking him, but he's going to take a big leap being there for a full year and then another year after that too. So I think he's definitely one to watch for the future in terms of our younger players, and I think he'll have a lot of success there when he gets playing time.
All right, should we just give ratings to the guys that played a minor part, or even though PFOC played quite a lot, what would you guys rate?
5.
4.
5. I'm giving 5.
4.5.
I think that's a little
He had
too
a good
harsh.
start. He had a good first month, and after that he just didn't score. He had a big drought.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I'll give him a 4.5.
And then eventually he got dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you guys say about Scally?
Scally, I'll
5.
6.5. 6.5.
5 is harsh. I give him a 6.5.
No, I'm giving him a 5. Like he came into the season as a starter at the right back role, and now he's like completely lost that role now. Like he lost his starting role. That's not a performance that's above a 6. That has to be a 5. Like there's no way.
I think he'd start again next season.
No, I mean listen. I watched some Mönchengladbach, whatever how you say it name. I watched some of their games, right? Scally, like, he comes on. He plays, like, so conservative. Like, he plays, like, scared. Like, he gets the ball and passes it back. He never, like, makes it. Like, he plays too passive. And, like, who's starting there now? I don't know who it is, but they –
Ginter?
Huh?
Ginter?
Yeah, Ginter. Ginter is like, yeah, Ginter's better than Scally. So, I mean, Scally lost his role, so that's why I give him a 5.
But Ginter is more experienced and he's better going forward.
Okay, but like,
it's all about confidence. If Scally gets that confidence, he could improve going forward, and then eventually he can become a better player and start again.
yeah, I know, but like, I mean, he lost his role, so it's a 5. I'm sorry, that's just how it works.
I think it's a little too harsh on him. As a 20-year-old in the Bundesliga, considering the fact that he started most of the season, I think that's pretty impressive for his age. And I think next season he's going to get more opportunities because one of their best fullbacks, Benzabaini, is going to Dortmund. So that opens up more minutes for him.
Do you think he'd play left back though?
I think he can. I think he's shown that he's pretty versatile and that he can play either side.
If I was him, I would want to lock down one position first and master it before like becoming a versatile.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. I'm gonna try to get him play left back one game and right back next game. So
yeah, I agree with that. But at the same
time, left back though.
What?
I think Gladbach might play left back.
Yeah, I don't like that. For development, stick to a position first, and then you can move around once you get more comfortable with the team and the people you're with.
Moving on to Ligue 1, we got our new star boy, Flo. Balogun had a really good season. I'll give him a 9 out of 10, honestly. Super happy that he committed to us. Let's go in depth about his season. How would you guys rate it?
9.5.
Also 9.5. I watched him at Middlesbrough last year before the season, and honestly, I wasn't that impressed. So to go out in Ligue 1 as a starter, score like 22 goals, very impressive this season.
Definitely for a very limited side too. So
yeah.
Yep. The one thing I noticed about Balogun,
or 9.5.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed about Fullerine is his movement off the ball is really, really good. He can add a lot to this USMNT side, and something different too.
Yeah, I think he does offer that versatile, plays any type of role striker that we haven't had for a really, really long time, honestly. Yeah. He's not just a stationary number 9. His runs, the way that he reads the play before and starts to run and likes to be on the shoulder of the less defender is really nice. I'm really excited for him to play with us. We can go to Weah now. I think a very underwhelming season in terms of locking down a spot as a winger. I don't think anybody would have imagined that he would be playing left back for the majority of the season. How would you guys rate the season? Do you think it's nice that he's getting scouted by Olympique de Marseille, but to play as a fullback? What do you guys think about that?
Even Juve as a right wing back.
Quick, or Akil, do you want to go?
Oh, you can go.
Okay. I'll give him a 7.5, honestly. I was actually pretty impressed with this season. Listen, it might be a hot take, but I watched him play at right back, and he looked comfortable. Like, as soon as he slot into that role, he looked like he was there for years. And, like, honestly, I think, Yuri, before you were saying we need a backup and, like, to Jedi Robinson, I would honestly back Weah as their number 1 backup in that position right now. I would try him out. In the Nations League, I would try him out. Not Nations League. If he was in the Gold Cup, I would try him out at, like, left back or whatever, but he's in Nations League, so he can't. Hot take, I don't really like him as a winger. And I know he might be one of our best wingers, but I watched him playing winger a lot for Lille and USA. And, like, half the time he's good, but, like, I don't think he has IQ for a winger. I think he's also, like, he's not that good of a dribbler to be winger. He's a good dribbler in the space, but not that good of a technical dribbler, which is why I would his obviously his defending has gone really good. This last couple months, he's been winning like consistently at least half the duels in the game. He's been putting in tackles, winning headers. He's a tall guy too, 6 foot tall. That's what I would give Weah a season. I liked him at right back, left back, and we should try to play him there.
All right, Brendan, Dylan, and Shrey, what do you guys think about his season? I think Akil already gave him a rating.
Yeah, I would give Way a 7. I thought he had a pretty good season. But I mean, obviously he did have the position change, which I mean to some people is probably underwhelming. Like you were saying, Yuri, is because like it was weird that he completely switched to a wing back instead of a winger, which is pretty weird when I thought of it. But I mean, he was playing good, so I'd give him a fairly decent rating as a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5 just because whenever I watched him at Lille, he was solid. I mean, solid right back. So I think he could be like right back, as you said, Argent or left
Yes,
back.
Blacks there. Right back, he's locking that down, bro. Trust me.
Maybe he could start there
I'm
for
gonna-
Nations League.
Yeah, honestly, I would back him over Dest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then start
Fine with
boosting.
Yeah, try him
in
out.
Nations League as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I'd give-
I think that'd be
I don't
really
know about
interesting to
that.
see it.
But also, I like this boy Wea because he's a drip king, bro. He's the drippiest guy on the team. Like, not even close. Not even close. He's so drippy.
Bro. King of New York.
Yeah, facts, bro. He's king of New York.
All right, Brendan, you wanted to say your take on his season?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give him a 6 because even though he has switched roles and shown that he can be a somewhat decent right back or left back, I think the fact that he's had to move around so much ultimately is not a good thing for him, and the fact that he was forced to switch position because he was so bad at his original position is not a good sign.
Yeah,
I don't think it was
silver
because
lining-
it was. I don't think it was because he was bad.
Not
I
bad.
think,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I agree with Akil. Yeah, I don't think he was
Yeah.
necessarily bad. I just think that maybe the little coaching staff kind of figured that with his qualities, they would try him out at wing back and see how he would do, and he fared pretty well.
Yeah.
So y'all know, like,
so-
oh, my bad. You can go.
I was just going to say the silver lining is that he solidified himself as a viable player in the wing back position to the point where big clubs are around him. So
Yeah,
So-
the thing is, Lille also have a lot of good wingers like Andre Gomez, Jonathan Bamba, and Fonseca just found a way to put Wea at a position, like out of position where he could be comfortable. And
Yeah.
to be honest, he didn't look bad defensively
Yeah,
at
exactly.
all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just going to say, yeah, Akil, exactly, like, you made a good point. He looked actually very good defensively, not even, like, bad. I would say he looked better defensively than offensively, in my opinion, this season. And
Yeah.
it's like, it kind of reminded me, like, in, like, Got Talent, America's Got Talent, Simon Cowell, like, listened to, like, this person sing, like, a really good song, and then just, like, no, that was terrible. Like, sing this one instead, because you're probably better at that. And then, like, they make them sing that song, and like, it's, like, amazing. This reminds me of what they did. Like, the coaching staff saw Wea was so much better as a right back, a defender, and then they used him at a right back instead of, like, it was like, no, winger, it's not working, bro. Go right back.
Wea even admitted that he liked playing as a fullback, and he said
Exactly, yeah.
he could make a future in that position.
Exactly, yeah.
That's all I
Right.
care about, whether he likes playing the position or not. I don't really care where he plays.
Facts.
yeah, like you guys said, I'm fine with him starting Nations League as a right back, honestly.
Yep.
But should we
Bro,
move
Brady
on?
was out here hating, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be realistic and not overhype.
What do
all
you
of the
guys think
players.
about? What do you guys think about the Juve rumor?
No,
10 million.
Mm,
terrible.
I think it could.
No.
I think it could be good
No,
because Quadrado
Yeah, I
is
don't think
old.
it'll happen, though.
Quadrado is getting old. Descilio is not good enough. Wea could make a case for that.
Yeah,
and
you
it
have
had
a
a
good
big
point. I
club
mean,
too.
especially because Quadrado was a winger and then he switched to. I mean,
Mhm.
so maybe they can help out Way in that department, but I don't think it'll happen. But I mean, it'll be interesting if it
Yeah.
does, but I don't think it will.
Quadrado's 35 too.
If it happens,
Yeah.
he's going to start.
no way.
If it happens, he's going to start.
Yeah,
I think
he starts if it happens.
You think
No.
so? Really?
He would have to earn a spot though over Quadrado first, and then he would start. I think Quadrado still like locks it down.
He's
Over,
turning 36.
but still, like he's
I
still
back Wea
effective.
to
Wow.
take that spot in 1 month.
One
Honestly.
month, yeah, I could see 1 month, but he's not gonna walk into the Juve team to start Quadrado, bro. That's just how.
Since we're
Yeah.
talking about Serie A, should we move on to the players there and Serie B? I mean,
Yeah, let's go.
Mhm.
I can start with Tesman on Serie B because that's my club. I'll go with Tesman and Buzio and Novakovic. And Leao, I'm just saying an underrated player because he hasn't really played pro. Patrick Leao, the American dual national, plays for Venezia Primavera. Really good player, honestly. I think he could in the future, 3-4 years, try to make a case for himself. He's a good winger. Going on to Buzio, I'm shocked that he got called up for the Gold Cup. I'm shocked, honestly. The reason why Venezia were at the relegation zone and in the relegation battle was because he was starting, and that's factual. Because once he gets subbed out of the team, then we start performing and got even to the point of dreaming of going to Serie A. Buzio, I'll give him a 2 out of 10. The guy parties around clubs in Venezia. He's terrible on the ball, but on the warm-ups, he looks like a baller. I've never seen a player so good at warm-ups like Buzio, honestly.
He fell off.
Just the way
hard.
he did. He didn't have a single good game the whole season. I'm being honest here.
Yeah.
Bucio doesn't belong on this roster as much as Aaron Long doesn't. Like, there's no room for Bucio here. Like, doesn't deserve it. He didn't do anything to deserve a Gold Cup call.
Bucio, like, I was a massive fan of Bucio last year. I actually loved him. Like, he was so – yeah, exactly. He was such a talented kid. Like, he still is, but, like, terrible season. I'll give him a 3 out of 10. Like, there's no mentality, no drive. There's no passion. There's no aggression. There's none of that, bro. So, I'll have to give him a 3 out of 10. So, yeah. Hopefully he moves. Yeah. He needs to move to like MLS or something. Like
not bad.
Pisa really wants him. They're a mid-table Serie B side.
Yeah, but bro, I've been to Pisa, bro. Like, and Bucio is a party merchant. Like, he's gonna want to go somewhere to party. Pisa is not that place, bro. Pisa is not that place for like nightclubs and all that. I feel like he's gonna reject.
Just put him back in Kansas City.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good thing, though. We don't want him to go to a place where he can party all night. We need
him to go to Ohio.
Yeah,
focus on his career. To go to Ohio.
It's a good thing, but like, bro, okay, that's a good thing, but I'm being realistic. Like Bucio, I know Bucio. He's gonna go like a big city where he can party. So he's gonna be like, either go back to MLS or like some like French city, like I don't know, like Lyon or Lille or like Netherlands, where he can do a lot of drugs there legally. I don't know.
I don't think any of those places.
He's gonna be a daily visitor to the red light district. Yeah.
Yeah, probably, bro. He feels like the least focused, motivated footballer I see in my life.
Learning from his idol Quincy Promes.
Well, there's another guy. Like I said, going from one extreme to another. Tanner Tasman. I'll be honest. When Venezia signed Tasman, I had no idea what they were thinking, and up until this season, I still didn't really have an idea why he got signed. But what a season from him, honestly. You can call him lucky for getting the chance once Jajalo, who was the starting defensive mid for the club, got injured. They throw Tanner out there, and he starts performing every week to the point where he's second in midfield direct goal contributions from a defensive midfielder position. So he had a really good season. I think his work rate really showed, and he picked up the starting spot when we were in second to last in the league. We were 19th place. And just his character after every game going to the fans, even if only him and Pojampalo came to the fans to applaud the fans, his effort and character really showed throughout the season. And by the end of the season, you saw that he was getting linked to lots of clubs. And I'm sad today came out. Venezia made their roster for the preseason. He's not included in there, apparently due to negotiations with other clubs. And just to clarify, USSF didn't call him up. BJ didn't call him up. People were saying, I saw the USMNT page, great page, by the way, saying that Tasman isn't attending the Gold Cup because he's getting married. The Venezia pages were so, they were really in awe that Buzia got the call up instead of Tasman. They DM'd his sister, Tanner Tasman's sister, and she confirms that he didn't get called up. So he's getting married regardless, but if he got called up, he would have changed the wedding and wouldn't turn down the opportunity to play for the country. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm pretty sure BJ hasn't watched a single Venezia game if he's calling up Buzio over 10.
Yeah,
I'll give Tasman an 8.5 out of 10. He just needs to get faster. He's a little slow, but I think he should be fine in Serie A next year if he does get the move. All right, moving on to Haji and Pukstas, Croatian League. And the Turkish Super League. What would you guys rate these guys' season?
I love Pukstas, man. I love him. Such a good talent. Such a good talent. I'll give a season 8.5 out of 10. Like an 18-year-old American kid going into a Croatian, like their second best team in Croatia, and then starting for them in DM, winning the whole thing. That's an 8 point. That's at least a 9 season, but 8.5. I'm trying to be humble right now.
Yeah, he started about half of their games, and he started in their cup final, which they won. So I think that speaks a lot to how he's starting now. And yeah, I think he'll continue to start next year. And yeah, just 18 years old. I'll give him a solid 8.
I haven't watched any. I haven't watched any live games because like it's the Croatian league. I can't.
Yeah, I've seen.
I'd have to go on pirated streams.
Yeah.
Hey,
You gotta
but he has what? 4
Go
goals,
ahead.
3 assists as an 18-year-old midfielder. I think that's pretty
That's amazing.
solid. So yeah, I could.
First season.
Yeah, I thought he had a good season. Same thing with Haji. I thought he had a good season too. But like, I mean, I don't know like how high his ceiling is, to be honest with you. So I mean, I think he's definitely. He should move next year. He shouldn't be playing in that league. I think he needs a challenge. But
Yeah.
championship.
Mhm.
Honestly, I would like to see
Haji?
Yeah.
I think Haji could play in the Prem.
the Prem. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
He was linked to Palace. He was linked to Palace in the winter.
hey, if
I'm not
Brendan
sure.
had time in the Prem after that move, I don't think Haji's going to do that good either. I mean, look
I
at
think
the
Haji
league.
suits it
more.
Championship is perfect for him, in my opinion.
I
He has
rate
the
Haji.
physical aspect. It's not that big of a league for him. Oh, it is a really competitive league, but it's not a huge jump for him. So expectations wouldn't be high either. I think championship is a good move for him. I don't think he gets called up over Sargent right now if we were to make a roster to play against an Argentina or Brazil. But maybe in the future he does.
He should have been in the Cold Cup, though. I have no idea why he's
Yeah,
not there.
yeah, facts. He should have.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's better than Vasquez and Ferreira.
No, he's
so
way better than
I have no
Vasquez, bro. I'm saying he's way
Yeah.
better.
No.
Vasquez is a finished talent, bro.
I have no idea why he's not on the Gold Cup roster.
I wouldn't say way better. He is better than Brandon,
No,
but
dude,
not that much better.
Brandon. Okay, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Crew fan, but like Brandon,
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't see it in Brandon that much. I see like a lot in Haji. I don't see that much in Brandon compared to him. Like
I think you're a little biased.
yeah, but like no, the thing is he's a crazy athlete, but other than that, like his touch isn't that good. His shooting is kind of off sometimes. Like he's he can jump high, run fast. I mean, that's probably about it.
He can hold up.
Yeah,
Brandon can hold up.
yeah, it's strength, speed, and jumping ability, and like whatever. I mean, athleticism.
We do need to see him in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And like he only has 4 goals this season. And since he is like the top team in the whole MLS, he only has 4 goals as a striker. So I mean, I would say Haji over him.
I think they're both Eredivisie championship level players.
Yeah.
And moving on to those leagues, Eredivisie and Belgian Pro League. I'm just going to start off by saying that Mark McKenzie had a really good season, in my opinion. I think I know that they rumored that he has an injury, and that's why he wasn't called up. But at the same time, he was reacting on Instagram, posting on his story that he was, he put that meme.
Story.
Yeah, I think that he's probably not as injured as BJ said that he is. But how would you guys rate the guys in the Netherlands, Booth, and the guys in the Belgian Pro League with Reynolds and McKenzie?
I've barely watched McKenzie, but like he was scoring a lot, and I was like, "What the hell? How is Mark McKenzie scoring this many goals in one season?" So because of all those goals and Genk's season so far, I'd probably give him an 8.
I'll give him the 8 and 8 as well. I haven't watched him at all this year, but I mean, just off of how Genk fans and how USMNT fans have said he's been playing, an 8 just because of that.
His national team career has not been that great so far.
Yeah,
he needs more chances though. He's barely been given much of an opportunity.
He did make a mistake against Mexico in the Nations League.
that was 2 years ago.
But he also needs
true.
Right, he needs more opportunities, bro. He needs to prove himself across the stretch of games. Give him more chances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Long gets a lot of chances, so Mark McKenzie should definitely get a few.
Exactly, bro.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take Mark over Zimmerman as well. If we were to make a roster against a big country, I definitely think that he hasn't shown enough to be a starter or to have a shout as a starter, but he's done enough to at least get a few more chances, a few more call-ups. I think he should
still don't think
automatically be in the roster in the future as a sub, as a second or third option center back. Going on to Reynolds, I'm just gonna say I've actually watched 2 full games from him. I know that's not a lot, but it's kind of hard to watch the Belgian league. I think that Reynolds had a good season. Honestly, it was a rebound season, and I do hope that next year he gets a move to a bigger country or a loan to a better league. I think he's done enough, and this is a hot take. In 2 years, I think he overtakes Scally, in my opinion. I think he has the athletic capability to do so, and technical aspect as well.
I'd like to see him start for the Gold Cup. At least some matches, at the very least.
Yeah, they're going to start Yedlin, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, hope he gets some starts.
Probably.
And people forget.
I don't know why Yedlin gets called up.
It's because he has experience, and we do need some of that in the rosters.
I mean, yeah,
we already have that.
That's true, but I mean, for experience, honestly, I would call up like Bedoya or something. I don't know.
Oh, I would love that. That would be great,
bro. Come on, Bedoya is actually.
I have not.
No, yeah, we need more union. We need more union players in the national team.
It's like, and like, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's just the fact that Bedoya is actually like not that bad right now. Like he's like 36 or something, but he's still like okay. He's still a decent player.
Yeah.
Over like Yedlin just gets turned.
I'd rather call it McGlynn.
But, dude, yeah, but I would
call both of them.
Yeah. Call both of them, yeah, dude.
No, get Flock. Flock.
No, bro.
Flock
isn't good.
He's better than Bedoya.
No, I'm a Union fan. Obviously, I watch every game. Bedoya is miles clear of Flock. I was excited about Flock because he's still very young and he was initially showing like good performances, but this season he's not been very, very good.
From last season, I thought he had a good game in the MLS Cup.
He had one good game. That was the only goal he scored all year against NYCFC in the playoffs.
Against LAFC too. I thought he had a good game.
I was just gonna say, since you went from Eredivisie to the MLS, let's talk about Ledesma, a guy that started the year at PSV, yet to move. And what do you guys think? Do you still have any hope of him being a part of our roster in the future?
I think we forgot Pepe and Fossey.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten into Booth as well.
Yeah.
All right, let me go real quick. Booth, 6.5 out of 10.
7.
7 as well for me.
7 as well, yeah.
All right, Brandon
what
and
about
Dylan,
you?
what do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say 7 or like 6.5, but somewhere in that range. I would give 7.
Yeah, for that player of the month alone, I'd give him a 7.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I think he had a good season in the Eredivisie, and he's already become a fan favorite at Utrecht. So yeah, and he's been getting links to some big clubs as well.
Yeah, I don't think he realistically gets a big move like some pages link him to Man United. I don't think that's happening, but
no
good
way.
season nonetheless.
No.
Yeah. And what do you guys think about Pepe's season? And do you think he's actually going to PSV? Would you rather see him at PSV or Feyenoord? Those are
I think he goes to PSV.
PSV.
I'll give him an 8 out of 10 season 2. What do you guys think?
I'll give him
7.5.
8.5.
Because he got relegated.
I'll give him an 8.5. He scored like 13 goals, had 3 assists for like an absolutely horrific team. God awful.
He had some record too. He had some Eredivisie record. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, and he was also coming off a terrible season in Germany, so like it was a redemption. So
yeah. And he was the only player in that Groningen team as well who was actually really doing anything to try and keep them up.
Yeah, he was their only good player, honestly. Like I watched a few games. And he was the only hope from that team. A really poor side, honestly.
After Augsburg, I thought he was finished.
You just gave up on him immediately, bro.
Yeah, I thought he was finished. I actually did. 'Cause what I thought was if he didn't do well at Groningen, he'd go back to MLS and then USL.
Bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think the Pepe situation kind of just that every player needs a certain situation to thrive, and just because they don't work out at one club doesn't mean they're completely finished.
Yeah, like Buzio, honestly, like I'm not a fan of his, but there is something there. If you guys see him warming up, you see he's the best juggler of the ball of all time, dude. So there's something in there in some way to play at a club. I think Pepe proved that because I didn't think he was USL bound like Akil, but I thought that I didn't imagine him solidifying himself in Europe as well.
Maybe Busio can become a street performer.
I think he has the talent to do so, dude.
No, he should switch to futsal. Futsal.
Yeah, honestly,
And then,
he would run about the same amount that he runs.
Street Panna.
Street Panna is clear of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, maybe.
I love how in this video we just roasted Busio for 10 minutes.
Yo,
As we should.
he deserves it, bro. Like, what's up, bro? You're a professional.
What do you guys rate CCV season?
10. No, I'm kidding.
No, I would give him a 8.5.
I give him a 9.
Yeah, 9.
He's proven that he's the best
Yeah.
center back in that league. 100%.
Yeah, he needs to transfer.
Yeah, agreed.
Tillman needs
Yeah.
to transfer too. I think he's too good for that league.
He's on loan.
I don't-
there.
I'd like
I
to see
don't know about
Tillman one
Tillman.
more year.
I'd like to see Tillman move on from Bayern as a permanent deal. Somewhere probably
Yeah.
Bundesliga.
I think Rangers on
I
a
agree.
permanent would be a good transfer.
I'm fine with Tillman.
Maybe
staying one more
Union
year.
Berlin.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tillman still has a little bit left to prove with Rangers, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind him staying there for another year.
Yeah, he really struggled against Celtic and the Champions League teams whenever he played. But yeah, he still had a very solid season for his first professional year. But yeah, I'd like to see him stay one more year at Rangers.
And I just want CCV to move, honestly. I think he's outgrown that league. He needs to move.
I hope he
really
goes to a
hope
club.
he does.
Yeah, I hope he goes to a club like Villa.
I'll give CCV a fat 9 out of 10. Best center back in the league. Locks down everyone. Like I think he needs to move to a La Liga team or like a Dutch team.
Prem.
Really?
I think
That's my
Prem.
first.
I think Prem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
good
want him at
enough.
the Prem.
I think he could do Prem.
I think he could as
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
if he moves to the Eredivisie, I'll be sad, honestly. I want him to make a bigger jump. Top 5 league.
Yeah, 'cause-
honestly.
might be a hot take, but in the World Cups, I didn't really like CCV's performance that much. And I know he's a class center back. But I feel like CCV is like not our best choice talent right now. I think it's Richards above him. I think Richards, McKenzie, and honestly, I think then CCV. I think
CCV is better than McKenzie.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't like. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like CCV's performance in the World Cup. I felt like he was too slow and he was too. Like
He played one game.
I know.
I was gonna say he
Walker
didn't get
played
much of an
the-
opportunity.
Yeah, Walker played the other 3.
That's true. But even
And-
like the Stars League isn't that much of a challenge. Like isn't that much of a step up than the MLS. I feel like it's maybe about here and MLS. Is
And
like,
I don't think CCV would give up that penalty against Wales.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's obviously better than Zimmerman, but I just don't think he's that guy that can like thrive at Prem team right now. That's just my opinion.
I don't know about thriving, but he could definitely start and have an okay
I think
good
he
season.
adjusts.
Or he could definitely start, but like if you want to go to Prem, I don't want it to be like Pulisic V2. You just go to Prem, you're a bench player, bro. Like, I want CCV to go somewhere he'll start and play every game, like just like he did at Celtic. And if you go to Prem, I'm not fully confident he's going to start every single game for a Prem team. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
All right. Should we move on to MLS?
Mid-table team.
Yeah. Okay, let's go MLS. And yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So each of you guys list your top 5 players from MLS this season.
All right.
I think Miles
That's
Robinson
Neil.
is definitely in there, but
Yeah, I agree.
I think Miles is pretty much a lock. I think.
What are your thoughts on Jesus?
If you're
My
just going
thoughts.
off of MLS, I think he should be in there. But I mean, if you're going off of everything
Okay.
else now,
Yeah,
I
it's like
think
he performs in the league, but
he performs at low pressure games in the league, to be honest. And
yeah.
honestly,
We saw in the
the way that I
playoffs how. Yeah, we saw in the playoffs how he ghosted.
The way that I see it is, when I watch the goals that he scores with Brendan Vasquez, I think, is he scoring that goal? Is he getting that type of opportunity in a better league? Most of his goals, I'm just like, this is not happening anywhere with decent defenders, like good defenders. I'm not going to put down all of MLS, but some of his goals are incredibly lucky or just goals that you wouldn't see at a good league. Maybe in the Scottish league or something like that, but I don't know. I think Jesus doesn't have a future with us. If we want to be a serious soccer powerhouse, he shouldn't be anywhere near the roster in 2 years.
Yeah,
If he
for
makes
me,
that
Vasquez.
2026
Yeah,
roster,
Brandon
I
Vasquez
like
is
Vasquez
so
more.
clear for me. Yeah, he's so clear.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jesus will still start though for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, because of manager
definitely will.
favoritism.
he
So-
will for sure.
Ferreira, like you guys basically hit on the head. So Julian Gressel, though, I actually like this guy a lot. I
Nope.
like Julian Gressel
I
a
like
lot.
Russell too.
He creates
don't rate
lots
him.
of amazing chances. He's a brilliant creator of the ball. We need like a wing back who can create chances well too, because
He's an atrocious defender.
he might be, but like honestly, he's a wicked crosser of the ball. He can put a ball in.
Yeah.
Sure.
He
I
can
guess
whip a
we'll
ball
find
in.
out
but
more in the Gold Cup. Though I
Yeah.
mean about him.
Yeah,
Even in the
Gold
Camp
Cup
Cupcake friendlies, he was not good.
I know, but like those friendlies are
Apart from that assist to Vasquez.
The assist
Vasquez,
is good though.
Yeah. But he was
Yeah.
atrocious defensively.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of our fullbacks kind of have the same problem. I don't think we really have anyone besides maybe Jedi that are actually really too great defensively. Like Dest is more of an offensive threat. If we're going to count Weah there, I think. I mean, obviously he's been playing better defensively, but traditionally he's more of an attacking player.
Yeah. I think that if we're talking about MLS players, I'm just going to throw out there because of the U20 World Cup, I really like McGlynn. I hope that in the future he gets included. I'll be honest, I haven't watched many games from him. I didn't even know he was that young when I watched 2 Philadelphia Union games. I didn't even know he was that young. He's really good on the ball. I'm really high on him. I like Gressel, but they snuck him in as a forward too on the roster release, so I'm pretty sure they see him more as a winger, not as a fullback. I'll put Miles in there, and go ahead.
Oh, what do you guys think about Tolkien? Do you think he could be in there?
Yeah, he's a good
I think he's.
I like Tolkien.
Yeah,
I think
like
he's a
him.
good future left back. I think he's pretty like. I would rate him over like Jogo there in terms of our younger left backs.
Yeah.
For right
We have
now,
Tolkien,
but
yeah. We have
He's also 2
Wiley
years
too.
older, right, than Choco. He's 20,
yeah,
right?
But
he is older.
but for now, I think he's better than Gomez, Wiley,
I agree.
Sam
I think
Vines.
Yeah, I don't think that Wiley in the long run is going to be a fullback, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I really.
Yeah, I think he's more of a winger.
Yeah, when Wiley makes the jump to Europe, I don't think he's going to be a fullback. It's
I think a
gonna
wing
be
back.
like Paredes.
Yeah,
Paredes, but a different player to Paredes.
Mhm.
I was definitely
But same
gonna say,
position.
yeah, I was definitely gonna say wing back because I mean he's still a decent defender. He's actually a pretty good defender, so like he's not completely useless there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we wrap
this
up?
then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
guys.
Is that
Wednesday, Nations League prediction on Wednesday. Stay tuned to that. Like and subscribe.
Mhm.
Thank you.
like it up, boys. If you like it and
Yeah.
girls, like it up.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a
See
good
you.
one.